We're reviewing quickly for your systems of inequalities quiz here, and what we're going to look at first, which ordered pair not in the solution set. So what we need to do is just plot these ordered pairs. So negative 2 comma 0 is right there, 0 comma 0 the origin, 1 comma negative 2 right here, and 2 comma 0 which is right there. So obviously these middle two can't be the answer because they are in the solution set, they are in the shaded portion. The other two are right on the boundary. Well, here's what we need to remember. The solid line is when we had equal to, the dashed line is when we did not have equal to. So that means we're allowed to be on a solid line, but not on a dashed line. So this guy's good. That's our bad answer. So letter D should be your answer there. Number two, which one of those is graphed on the coordinate grid? Pay attention to make sure that y is always by itself, which it is. And what we need to have here, we need to have one with an equal to sign and one without an equal to sign. So they all have one of each, which is good. Now we're shading below both the solid line and the dashed line. So I need to have two less than signs, a less than and a less than or equal to. Like A, not like B, those are both greater than, and D, you have one of each. So that's not good. So now we need to figure out the last step. But what I'm going to notice is this guy had a positive slope. The positive slope needed the equal to sign. Here's a positive slope with an equal to sign. The other one, the negative slope, should not have the equal to sign. So that's why C is your answer. In these ones, they were flip-flopped. In part C, we need to first make sure we get y by itself. In this bottom one, really easy, just divide everything by 3. What you need to pay attention to is just what direction the sign is pointing. When I divide by a positive number, my sign's not going to change. It's going to be y is less than or equal to something. It's x over 3 minus 2. For this guy, when I subtract 2x from both sides, gives you negative y is less than negative 2x plus 6. I need to divide by negative 1. When I divide by negative 1, though, that means that I'm going to have to switch that sign. It would be 2x minus 6. But notice the direction of the sign will change. So now what do I have? I have below, I have less than, so I need to be shading below both lines. So region C should be where I'm shading. Alright, in the next set, number 5 here. Same idea, which one represents the solution. I have y equals to, or y by itself I should say for both of them. But I'm going to notice first, y is bigger than negative 1. That's my horizontal line. That's like 0x minus 1. The horizontal line needs to have a dashed line. So A is dashed, C is not. Neither is D. So I'm already down between A and B. I need to be shading above that line, which I am, which is good. Now I need to be shading below a solid line, which I am for both. So now I'm going to look at what kind of slope do I have? A negative slope for this line. So this is a positive slope. It can't be A, which means B must be my answer because it's the negative slope. In number 6, again, which region is going to give you the solution here? You have y by itself, which is good. So let's take a look. We have less than or equal to, less than or equal to. I need to be shading below both lines. So below this line would be G and H. Below this line would be F and G. So region G, letter B, should be my answer. For the next one, the issue though arises again, I don't have y by itself. When I solve for this one, I'll subtract 3x, and then I need to divide by 3. But when I do that, nothing's going to change with my sign. In this one, when I subtract 5x, I'll have to divide by a negative 5, which means this one is going to flip. So I'm going to need to be shading above one line and below the other. So let me get rid of this first and see where we got to be. With this first one, it's going to end up becoming 3y bigger than or equal to negative 3x plus 12, which means y is bigger than or equal to negative x plus 4. So a downward slope, that's this guy, needs to be shading, this says above. So I'm between J and H. For this other one, I should have negative 5y is bigger than or equal to negative 5x minus 10. When I flip-flop them, it should now be y. I have to divide by negative 5, so that means change the sign around to be positive x plus 2. So the positive line, I should be shading, this less than tells me below. So the positive slope I'm shading below means one of these two. So what I have my overlap would be in region H, letter C. Okay, pushing forward to actually graphing the lines. What I need to look at here, for the first one, I got to start at 1. My slope is up 4 over 1. It is a dashed line because it is just just a greater than sign. The other one, starting at 1, 2, 3, that's going to change colors. Make it 1, 2, 3. This slope of 1 means up 1 over 1, also a dashed line. And I want to be shading above the red line, but below this brownish line. So above the red means one of these two over here, but below the light red, or below the dark red line. So that means either here or here. For the dark red, for the light red, it was above it, so it was one of these two. It means my shading is down here in the bottom left. In this next one, let's begin with this. The y is greater than or equal to 2x. That's 2x plus 0. It means you start at 0 up to over 1, and it's going to be a solid line. This one, 4x minus 7, I'll do that in red. So down at negative 7 to begin, and up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Did I do that right? Yeah, 4 over 1. And this one will be a dashed line. So something like that. Okay, and now where do I shade? That's the tough part. Greater than and greater than means above both. So above the blue line is here and here. Above the red line is here and here. So the place I marked twice is where I'm going to shade right there. In these ones, for this first one, it's y is less than or equal to 2. So this means at y equals 2 on the axis, it's a horizontal line. If it was x is less than or equal to 2, it would have been on the x-axis for x is equal to 2, and it would have been a vertical line. For the second line, y is less than 5x minus 7, so very similar. I start at negative 7, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 1. This will be a dotted line because it does not have the equal to. They're both less than, means both are shading below. So again, where I shade below the red are these two sections, below the purple pretty obviously down here. So below both, where I mark twice, is in that lower right section. Number 11, y is bigger than 2/3 x minus 4. Start at negative 4, up 1, 2, to the right 3. No equal sign, so it's a dashed line. For the other one, negative 4x plus 3. So beginning at positive 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4, to the right 1. This one will be solid because it has the equal to sign. And again, what we say here, they're both greater than, so I want above both. So above the blue are these two portions, above the red are those two portions. Where I have my overlap is right here in the top section. The next part, x is bigger than 3. So like we just said with this guy, with x bigger than 3 means go to the x-axis where 3 is, and I got to draw parallel to the other axis. So that means I'm going to have this will be a dashed line at 3. And then the other one will have y is less than or equal to 1/2 x plus 2, so start at 2, up 1 to the right 2. This one will be solid because it has the equals. Okay, what we have is for the x is bigger than 3. For x is bigger than 3, that means it's bigger this way. So I got to be one of these two sections. For this one, less than means below this line, below that blue line. So one of these two, here's where I have my overlap. Okay, and the issue with 13 is that neither of these are by themselves, so I need to first get them by themselves. So I'll do that here by subtracting x from both sides. That means I get y will be bigger than negative x plus 4 here. Same thing if I subtract x from both sides on this one, y is less than negative x plus 1. So the first one I'll do, this guy here, negative x starting at plus 4 though, negative x means negative 1x, down 1 to the right 1. This is a dotted line, like so. And this one, y is less than negative x plus 1. So starting now at 1, I'll do this one in darker red. And same thing, down 1 to the right 1, also a dotted line. Same slope, so they should be parallel, which they are. So what we should look at here, in this case, they have y is bigger than this first guy, which means I'd be shading up here, and y is less than this guy, which means I'd be shading down here. So where is my overlap? I don't have an overlap. That means this guy would be a, well, let's get a better color than that. This would be a no solution answer as a result. Now, if the sides were flip-flopped, if this was greater and this was less, so we'd be shading opposite sides, then you'd have shading in the middle. But as it's written, it is a no solution problem. All right, the word problem should be a good way to finish this out. What we should always look at first, find an x and a y for your system. So I'm going to make x be my babysitting hours. and I'll make my y be my bike repair. So I'll just call it repair. What I'm going to have here is I have something dealing with money, and I have something dealing with the number of hours. So with the money, what are the things I have? Well, $300 is what I have dealing with money, and I need to make at least that much. So 300 should be the least amount I should make. I want to get something bigger than that. Now, how do I get my amount of money? Well, I take whatever I got babysitting, and it said I made $10 per hour. So $10 per babysitting hour, plus $15 per bike repair hour. And that's got to be bigger than 300 to get the money I need. The other one for the hours, it said 30 hours. And how do I get my hours? Well, I have babysitting hours and I have repair hours. So they get added up just like so. And I can't work more than 30, so I want that to be less than or equal to 30. In part B, if you're working 8 hours babysitting, well, we said babysitting was X, so that means that's going to equal X. 15 hours repairing bikes, that would be Y. All you're going to do is see if these both satisfy. So let's do the second equation first. If I plug in 8 plus 15, is that less than or equal to 30? Yes, it is, so that's fine. Now, for the top one, does 10 times 8, when I plug in 8 for X, and 15 times Y, which is also 15, is that bigger than or equal to 300? That's the question that we need to ask. Well, when you plug those in, 10 times 8 and 15 times 15 gives you 305. Is 305 bigger than or equal to 300? Yes, it is. So the answer is yes, he will make his goal. Make sure you answer the question that is being asked. Now the last one, we're talking about selling potted plants here. And so again, we're going to set up an X and a Y. I'll make X be my number of plants sold, and Y be my number of bags of soil that there have been. Okay, so again, we're looking at something here dealing with dollars and dealing with the number that we have. Not the hashtag we have, the number we have. First, let's do the money part again. So the plants are $20 a piece, so $20 per plant plus $4 per bag, and you need to make $175. So bigger than or equal to, because we want to make more for sure than $175. Now, what does it say that they need, or that they are able to sell? Right here, they can sell no more than 10 plants. So 10 is the biggest number we can have. I need something less than that. All we care about is the plants. The amount of soil we have doesn't matter. So all I'm looking at here are the number of plants I can sell must be less than 10. There you have it. Best of luck. Study well.